Welcome everybody, welcome back to Trans Cannabis Veganic Jazzy. So I know it's been a little while, but I just got done making my brand new computer and I wanted to make a quick video of some fun racing and some things to come. So let's dive in. Toodles!
Day tomorrow, start of the season, and I'll move into the Pro Series, so let's get a practice in before you race for real. For tomorrow, our strategy is to bed in. We aren't aiming for Raven West yet. We build up the pressure. Our team colours are looking great on this car. Try not to get bogged down in really tight turns. Best to keep traction and drift it. But you know that.
Hesitate, I gotta tell you, but I wanna wait. Never thought that feelings could disappear. What a sorry never felt sincere, but you gotta
She may have some very positive things to say about you. Trust me, she doesn't say it if she doesn't mean it.
And then we trip the wire. Too many times I told you I believe.
To perform, and you're doing just that. There's some good opportunities to draft here. Getting close, get the toe, then switch your path.
I can't seem to let you go. I try to reach you. It's so difficult.
Watch out for the track limits here. So easy to get a time penalty by going over or cutting the corner.
Gonna have to let you go.
World Series once again revs up its engines, and the Pro Series is the pinnacle of racing, where our teams need to stay in the safety zone and be one of the 8 teams to make it through to our show-stopping finale, the Gauntlet.
How long is it gonna take? Just word for me? Thanks. Sorry, Tate. Thank you.
Nathan McCain interview, take 1.
Who's that guy? You seen this new lobster place down the road? You gotta choose which one you kill. You go to this big, like, box where they're all in. It's all blue and gnarly, and you're like, I want to kill that guy. Do I kill it? No, I'm not an animal. Okay, let's get going.
Okay. Do you want to say your name and introduce yourself?
They know who I am. Hi, I'm Nathan McCain, 5-time Grid Series world champion. Soon to be 6 times, and that's a new record.
Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, listen. Get to second place if you can, but you stay behind Nate. Am I clear? Yes?
Fine. Whatever.
Hey, my favorite nephew. Listen, what's with the camera crew?
I don't know. They're making some kind of documentary about the grid.
Right.
Actually, it's about Seneca.
Oh, wow. I think I'd rather eat my own face.
Good luck.
Come on.
You may 22 listen up. I imagine Nate will try and assert his dominance from the get-go. Let's show everyone we belong here.
Heard loud and clear, Heat. We're here to stay.
Ground in our first pro race. Well done, team.
We got no relation.
I just wanted to say thank you to everybody. It was so much fun making this video. There's so much more racing to come, from Assetto Corsa, Competizione, to everything else in between. I really appreciate everybody. From the bottom of my heart, I thank you. Trans Cannabis Veganic Jazzy is out. Toodles! Hello, 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 everybody. Hello. So, welcome back. Welcome back. We are here at the next stage. Brands Hatch. And this is going to be a really interesting race. There's so much to learn with every single track. Every track has got a great feel to it. Every track has like professionalism set. And if you didn't know the track before, you are really going to learn it now. Like, super going to learn it now, because having it at 2 races and each race being an hour, yeah, I would definitely say you're going to learn a lot in that amount of time. I really feel that by the second race, no matter what track it is, you're going to improve. And I've seen it time and time again that it's always smart to do it this way. So, definitely it's smart to do your homework, do your research, and make sure that these things are upgradable in your own skill level. And I think these are some things why I wanted to, comment about these things before we get into the racing and stuff today, is that a lot of people, they skip over being able to be better. And some of the skill gaps and raising your skill levels and honing them in better and growing them and stuff like that, doesn't necessarily come from being lazy about your abilities and stuff like that. I think a lot of people could learn to be better drivers if they used a lot of my techniques and stuff of how to pick stuff up. I'm always blown away with how well I do, because I always expect I'm not going to do very well, but I end up doing very well. And I always attribute that to the things I've learned about apexes and certain corners and momentum in general, like how momentum works. Like, I've tested this in real life with real cars, and I've seen how I've beat people. Like, I've raced a couple times in real life, and I beat some people, and they were like, how are you beating me in these lap times and this, that, and blah blah blah, and your car's like at least 2 levels lower than theirs are. And I was doing quite well, and it was because I was seeing how to hit corners and apexes and stuff from video games, teaching me how in real life these things, are. And when you see that and you apply those things further and further and further and further down the road to all the different video games and stuff, especially when they're realistic like this, like, oh my gosh. Talk about just honing your skills and becoming more and more professional. I have to say, over the years of having my professional sim rig and building these things up and getting to this level has been well worth it. If I wasn't really interested in trying to go pro with esports sim racing, specifically like Assetto Corsa, Competizione, and the new games that are going to be coming out that should possibly, I don't want to say they're going to be a Assetto Corsa Competizione killer or whatnot, but these other games have been out for a little while, and we are due for either a new Assetto or a new Assetto Corsa Competizione, which would be number 2, which I know there's in the mix and works that I hear there is that coming down the road. But I've also been hearing about Rensport and a few other games that are going to be coming out. And then it brings us back down to what I was saying last night, which was Forza Motorsports. I'm really super excited overall, don't get me wrong, but to be truthful and honest, and I always am, so there's no need to even say that, but I've been really disappointed in the past. Really disappointed and let down. Both by the game makers, both by the marshals of the game banning me. I mean, I haven't played in over 16 and a half years. Yeah, something like 16 and a half years. I hadn't played Forza since Forza number 4. Number 3 and number 4 I was very passionate about. Well, actually, I would say I was very passionate about all of them. Number 1, 2, 3, and 4. But I quit playing, and this was like back in like 2005, I think, is when I stopped playing. 2005 or 2006, one of the two. And I hadn't played since I started playing again in like 2020. Or 2021, actually. Yeah, like at the end of 2021. So it'd been a little while, right? And the same shenanigans. First off, I was very disappointed with Forza number 7. Right off the bat, I was like, well, the graphics are awesome, but where's all the other tracks? Where are all the other lobbies for racing and setting up professional races and stuff? And then on top of that, why can't you gift people cars and gift them with tunes and all the other stuff that I was used to that were big in Forza number 3 and number 4? And apparently they didn't do that anymore after those games, and it just got worse and worse. And yeah, I would have to say I didn't miss much in that 16 plus years of not coming back. Then I come back, and then I get banned after kicking people's asses. I mean, I even have it on record on my Twitch, although I didn't save the damn videos. I forgot at the time that the videos, after 12 or 15 days, they delete themselves unless you save them in your highlights, which I forgot to do. But anyways, at the time I had them on video, so that I sent the links to the marshals, and they still banded me for all of the abuse that others did to me, and yet not one of those videos showed any retaliation amongst me at all. And there was only a couple times that I did retaliate, and I retaliated with a friend because it was happening to them too. So we decided that we would go ahead and try to beat them with their own medicine, so to say, because we got sick of it. And they would keep doing it to us in several different lobbies, and it was horrible. And somehow way or another, a bunch of people got banned, and so did I, for like about a month, like 3 weeks or something like that. It was stupid. And not only did that piss me off after only playing the game after not playing for 16 plus years, I only played it for like, I don't know, like maybe 5 months, 4 or 5 months. And then I got banned because of silly people doing silly crap, sending me into the shadow realm every 10 seconds of me racing with anybody. And then because I was so new and the game wasn't as realistic as I thought it was, I was not doing very good at the game at all. Up until I met my friend Olive, Fem Racer, and also got a better tune, although I could tune, but I didn't have this tune. I sucked. And then once I got the tune, and then me and my friend, we made our own tune, it was even better than the tune that was given to us. Not only were we badass and beating high-end people, but still I struggled because the game did not have the professionalism that I was looking for. And at the time, I did not have, the PC like I do now. But long story short, I don't feel ecstatic as I'd like to be with the new Forza game. Again, I've been let down. And there was I think it was Gamer Muscle today came out with a video that I was about to come out with myself, talking about the new Forza, and almost every single bullet point that he said in his video was almost everything minus, I think, maybe 5 other points that I have that I wanted to say, but those were the main ones, besides 2 bigger ones that I'll mention maybe down the road. Well, I might as well mention them now because I already said it yesterday. I already said it last night, which is that, yeah, like he was saying, is that the game, besides the graphics and the reflections off the car and the window and the bumper, ooh, big deal. Who cares? And yeah, it is happy to see that graphics are getting better, but there was no huge bullet points on the 25th when Xbox revealed a few games, and one of the games were the behind the scenes and up and coming Forza Motorsport game, which is Forza Motorsport number 8, but they're calling it Forza Motorsports or Sport. So the one of the biggest things that I felt when I watched it, and I watched the video, I would say just the section with the Forza, probably about an hour. So I rewinded it probably, I would say, I don't know, about 50 times. Because it's only like 10 minutes. Which is kind of sad when you look at, it was like 12 minutes, I think, something like that. It wasn't very long compared to some of the other games. And I'd have to say it was probably the most anticipated game out of all of the things being talked about right now. And there's a lot of games that I want to check out, but as far as racing games, this is probably one of the most high-end games that we need to see something on it. We need to hear stuff. And it's just weird that, like, they had no real gameplay. The footage looked kind of old. If you ask me, it looked almost like an extension of the original trailer of what we saw months ago, a year ago, of the Forza Motorsport coming out. And it didn't seem any different than that at all, honestly. It just seemed like a little bit more of an extension of that. Almost like that footage was of that then, but they didn't want to reveal anything else. And then that was the footage they were going to reveal. I'm sorry to say, but it honestly seemed like that. And it did not seem new. And then on top of that, it seemed like they were showing things that they'd already showed before. I almost wanted to go back and look at all the other new footage they've shown and see, like, did they just show the same stuff that I've seen before? Like, which tells me a lot that A, they don't really have a whole lot that they've changed. And this was the biggest bullet point that I wanted to talk about, that Gamer Muscle. I believe it was Gamer Muscle. I'll have to really look that up, so don't hold me to it. But I believe it was Gamer Muscle today. Had the video on how Forza Motorsport, it looks to be a bit silly, you know, long. I mean, he didn't exactly say that, but I'm saying, adding on to what he's saying, is that they're not showing anything spectacular, saying very little about much, saying a little bit about that it's got some multiplayer reamped, and a little bit of some career mode, but it doesn't really go into anything. It doesn't show very much. They don't talk about or hype about anything. They really just lean on the ray tracing of the graphics and the shininess of the reflection of the windows and the paint and the bumpers, which is, to me, and the environment, the way the environment is and stuff like that, it still looks a little cartoony, a little bit stupid, if you ask me. I mean, if they're a professional game company and they're a professional game racing company, you would definitely think they would be more concerned about showing you the professional side of it, not the pretty, weird, watered down, very arcadey looking side to it. Because the more I keep seeing any footage of Forza at this point, it all looks the same, and it all seems to be exactly what number 7 was. Just better looking, but didn't seem to fix anything, and it doesn't seem that it looks to be that much better at all. And it doesn't really. And I've been holding back my thoughts about it. But seeing Gamer Muscle and others making videos and already commenting on it, it's only been out, that trailer's only been out since the 25th. I would really say that it's shocking to see that we're this far down the road, and there's several other game companies and other games getting ready to come out within the next 6 to 8 months that are way beyond any games out there that could possibly be, again, I hate to say it, but could be the Assetto Corsa Competizione killer, and a lot of other games like R Factor and Race Room and some of the others, which are great games, but they're old and they need better stuff. So those games need to have part 2s to their stuff, which I believe I'm hearing that there's going to be an R Factor 3 and all kinds of stuff. So that's awesome and all, but when it comes back down to the Forza thing I was talking about, I already feel disappointed. I'm already putting my money on that I'm going to be ultra disappointed, and I'm really glad that I can just check it out on PC Game Pass when it comes out, and see if it's even worth it or not, because I really don't feel that it's worth it. And considering just a month ago or a couple weeks ago I tried playing Forza 7 with a friend again and couldn't even do it. And I had spent like an hour and a half or whatever downloading it into the Xbox or whatever so I could play again with her. And yeah, it was horrible. It was a horrible experience, especially after now playing professional games like this. The Assetto Corsa Competizione have so much better of a feel. So I'm sticking with this. I think this is truly next level. And I think more and more that we bring attention to the professionalism that these games should definitely be, the better these things are going to be overall. And having games talk about ray tracing and how reflection pretty and stuff their bumpers are and their paint looks will not be the talk of real games. That will be a side note of, yeah, that should already be there. So I don't even know why you're saying that. What should be talked about is how badass your game truly is. Because no matter, let's be honest, no matter how good a game looks, if it doesn't play very well, no one's going to play it, no matter how well it looks. Now, what's odd is the opposite of that. A game could play very well, extraordinarily well, but not look very good at all. Have a lot of flaws and not be very pretty or up to date. And there's a lot of games out there that people play, even I play, that are old. R Factor is one of them. Race Room is another one. And most of the games, like even Assetto Corsa, is old, really. And so when you see that reality, and then you see how much money is being spent in Turn 10 and building supposedly one of the most groundbreaking games, when I laughed yesterday or day before when I watched the damn trailer, them talking about, 60 FPS and how it's going to be amazing on the new Xbox, and I'm just laughing that my new PC does on Assetto Corsa almost 200 FPS. Looks great. And why would that be the talk of how good your game is on the console anyways? The console doesn't have any issues with the FPS anyways. So why wouldn't you be boosting how badass like the professionalism of your game is, and how it truly is a real racing game, and that it's going to have next level realism with full scanned realism, up to date tracks, up to date cars, full 24-hour, 12-hour real racing, real dynamics, everything. Like, what are we talking about anymore? I mean, we're hearing Forza talk about ray tracing bumper reflection. I mean, that is just the silliest things I've ever heard coming out of a game company that's been around for a few minutes now, right? They've been around for a little while, making this Forza number 8 at this point. And it's really silly to see that it didn't look that much different, and here a high-end game YouTuber is saying the same thing that I was saying when I first saw the video the other day, which is it doesn't look that much different. It's kind of disappointing, and I sure hope that it's better than what I already am seeing and feeling about it already. Of course, I don't know. We all don't really know until we have it, but seriously, my money is on that. If they can do it, this will be the real chance they can do it. If they cannot do it and perform this time, I think they're done. I think this is going to be the end of Forza right here, and they're going to have to stick with a Forza Horizon as their main game, because this whole Forza Motorsports has just felt a bit of a joke since 2002 and 2005 when I stopped playing. And yeah, I would have to say super stupid that the video was mostly structured about how pretty their bumpers are going to look and how good the grass is going to look, even though the grass still looks cartoony. I'm just blown away by that. But we'll move on. But I had to say something about that because it's so shocking to see. This is what they call in 2023 badass, cutting edge performance video gaming of racing. Now, they're not saying it's simulation, they're not saying it's arcade, but let's be realistic. Forza has never really been anything more than an arcade. It dibs into the sim in the aspect, I guess, because you can play with the car and you can do longer races in pit, but beyond that, it doesn't have the realism. The cars feel fake. The cars are not as realistic as they could be. They're not as high-end as a true sim should and could be. And it mostly feels like a fake, weird version of something trying to be real. And it always felt that way. Versus something like this, doesn't try very hard at all, and Assetto Corsa Competizione is exactly that. A badass competition game that really sets aside what GT3 and GT4 and so many other levels of different video games like this have. So, no. Not gonna put my total money down on Forza yet. But I'm also not giving up. But I do want to say once again that if they are not able to perform this time around, so I sure hope with what they said in this video about how it's going to be better combined, number 5, 6, and 7 combined, of graphics, performance, everything. Well, it better be, because you know, these last ones that you've made and that I've missed out, and clearly I didn't miss anything that I just didn't play. I didn't miss anything, and I'm gonna have to say that the game company is gonna come to an end for Forza Motorsport, at least, if they cannot make this next one badass. So I sure hope that it's everything that's gonna be, and that's all I'll say at this point in time. But I just wanted to say something, because the fact that already, even today, I saw some videos that people are making about that video that came out about Forza the other day, saying the same thing I was saying, which is doesn't seem to be all that much different. And not only that, it's kind of disappointing. And I would say the same thing, that yeah, I would say that's pretty disappointing at this point in the game, because with Rensport, the newest set of Corsa Competizione going to be coming out, and there's a whole host of other games I can't even